Coming up this morning on Action News, drugs are still a problem in Yakima County. Wapato officials say 40 overdoses happened last month, and officials add that this month's total is looking close to that number, with more overdoses yesterday. Across the country, overdose deaths dropped, but not in the Evergreen State. We'll fill you in. Plus, the Pasco School District is still in need of bus drivers and substitute paraeducators. Coming up this Monday, a job fair for those openings. On-the-spot interviews are available, and there are some stipulations to be a bus driver. We'll tell you what they are. And in Ellensburg, the magic of Hogwarts. High school students are putting on a production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, the first school in the Evergreen State to do it. We caught up with some of the actors and the director to talk the play. That story and more coming up as you start your day with us right here on Action News. Good Thursday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And Jefferson, in the world of weather, things seem to be a bit drier this morning. Finally,
Absolutely.
kind of out of that rain pattern for over the last couple of days. But as we head on into today, tomorrow, and even on the weekend, is it smooth sailing ahead?
Well, I would say that yesterday was certainly a very wet day. Today is going to be primarily dry. Similar story for tomorrow. But this weekend, we do have more active weather in store, especially as we get towards Sunday. Sunday is really going to be a day a lot like we did see yesterday, although it is going to be a bit cooler, especially in the evening, and that could provide some travel problems for folks that are trying to get over the Cascades. Now, as we do look at your weather cam this morning in the Tri-Cities, we are not tracking any of those raindrops that we did see yesterday. To Dave's point, there are still a few isolated showers out there, but again, it's not as widespread as we were talking about on Wednesday. In the Tri-Cities this morning, it's 51 degrees right now with a fairly light wind. Here's a look at your weather headlines today and going forward. A few showers will linger today, primarily along the Blue Mountains, but again, not a big concern for most of us. Most of us will be dry for Friday and Saturday, but our next weather maker will really start to make an appearance on Sunday. We'll talk more about all three of these weather headlines coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Yakima County. Drug overdoses continue in the valley. In fact, there were 4 overdose cases in Wapato yesterday. 2 happened at in an alley near the Noah's Ark homeless shelter. Police didn't say where the other 2 cases happened. According to a Wapato police officer, there were nearly 40 overdoses reported in Wapato last month, and with yesterday's overdoses, this month's total is approaching that number. And overdose deaths dropped again this year across the country, but not in Washington or Oregon. Preliminary CDC data shows a 14% decrease from the year before, June to June, for the country. However, Washington and Oregon are among only 5 states where overdose deaths actually went up in that same time frame. There is no specific analysis yet as to why it went down for most of the country, but went up for states like Washington and Oregon. Several power outages yesterday has Pacific Power reminding everyone they need to have an emergency outage kit ready to go. There were outages in Moxie, Zilla, Granger, Sunnyside, and Toppenish. More than 1,600 customers were impacted. Now, the outages were caused by the light rain and wind causing a pole fire.
As we all are heading into the winter season, it's always encouraged that we have our emergency outage kits ready, because if we are in the middle of a weather situation and we get impacted or there's a power outage, we have all the necessary items that's needed for us to be able to manage for several hours.
Now, power has since been restored, though officials say your outage kit should include batteries, non-perishable food, bottles of water, and more. We have more information about the outages up on our website, KIMATV.com. Pasco School District leaders are still looking for bus drivers, and they're also hiring substitute paraeducators. If you're interested, bus drivers make $20.26 an hour, substitute paraeducators $19.78 an hour. On Monday, folks interested in either of those positions will have the chance to learn more about the jobs and the school district, as well as have an on-the-spot interview.
Every school in the state of Washington is looking for bus drivers, and what we're wanting to do is to really get the word out to come over and learn about Pasco and learn about the exciting things that we have available. You might want to cover classes a few days a week, or maybe all, or you may want to drive a bus. We can work with you on flexible schedules.
Candidates need to be a high school graduate, and you need at least 5 years of driving under your belt to be considered for a bus driver position. We have all the job fair details up on our website, KEPRTV.com. Heartlinks Hospice hosted their second Grief and the Holidays workshop yesterday, and there's another scheduled for later today. We spoke with their executive director about why they host this event, and she said it's to help those who lost a family member this year. The holidays can be a hard time for those who are already grieving the loss of a loved one, especially if traditions directly include that person.
The workshop is designed for family members or friends to come and work through maybe establishing new traditions without their loved one, or finding ways to honor the loved ones that they may have lost, and just working through how holidays will now look for them as they are processing their grief.
Now, the final workshop is today in Richland, but if you can't make it, you can contact Heartlinks, and they will set up some time to meet with you to talk about grief during this time of year. And this weekend, Ellensburg High School is bringing the magic of Hogwarts to the stage with their fall production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. The school is the first high school in the state of Washington to bring this edition to life. KIMA's Anissa Williams caught up with some of the students involved in the production.
Set 19 years after the events of the original Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child follows the next generation of wizards, including Harry Potter's son Albus and Draco Malfoy's son Scorpius. The play explores friendship, family, and the effects of the past. Director Jim Dennison typically works with a cast of around 12 students, but this production features 31, including both new and returning students. He said he is proud of their progress.
Quite a few of them are leaving, and so I'm glad that we're able to do this for them. That's one of my favorite things, is to see how they've grown from when they first started out in plays to where they are now. And also watching the new actors that either have never done a play before, which we have several of those, or have not done one in years.
Liam Cleavey, a sophomore playing Albus Potter, joined the play because of his love for both Harry Potter and theater.
It really does feel like I'm a student at Hogwarts with all the magic that we do in the show, and then making all the new friends that come with doing a high school production.
Luca Woods Vallejo, a senior playing Scorpius Malfoy, is finally making his way to the stage after years of wanting to. Now, as he prepares to graduate, he shared some words of wisdom for the underclassmen.
Do not be afraid to try new things. Please, 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 please. I was terrified freshman year and even sophomore year to just go out there and do something new. Do not be afraid. It is such an experience. You learn so many new things.
The magic hits the stage this Thursday for opening night, and the show runs through the weekend, with the final curtain falling next weekend on the 23rd. Tickets are on sale now. Reporting for Action News, I'm Anissa Williams.
KIMA's Anissa Williams, thank you. And for more information and to buy tickets, we have a link to the Ellensburg High School website up on our website, KIMATV.com. Now, Jefferson, let's talk weather here because temperature is not too shabby. The rain has gone by the wayside for a lot of folks. I mean, it seems like folks to our east might still getting some of that rain action.
Yeah, I would say that along the Blue Mountains today, along the foothills of the Blues, so for Walla Walla, Pendleton, throw Milton Freewater in there as well. Some showers are going to be possible throughout today, but for a vast majority of us, we are going to be staying dry on this Thursday. High temperatures, like you mentioned, are really going to be pretty pleasant with mid to upper 50s around the forecast area, above average daytime highs on this Thursday. As we go into tomorrow, temperatures will cool down, but we will see some sunshine. We do have another big storm system on the way, though. I'll tell you when that will arrive coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. The time now is 5:09. Coming up on Keeper KIMA this morning, some state news. Boeing has begun its layoffs, about 17,000. That's about 10% of its workforce. The reason? They need to work through financial struggles. After the break, we'll catch up with workers who say it's a waiting game to see if they will still have a job. But later in the show, top stories and Congress doing the people's work, holding a bipartisan hearing yesterday, working to determine if the government is withholding evidence of UFOs. It's the second hearing about the flying objects, and the Pentagon says they haven't found evidence that these UFOs are alien in origin. And imagine not having to take a single shot ever again. While scientists are working on making that a reality, they say they're closer to making vaccines inhalable, which could be helpful for those people who don't like that jab in the arm. We'll talk about that when we get to health news. Stay with us.